Pretty darn good.
Excellent. All right, team leaders, you have your D20 in front of you. Please roll for initiative.
Oh, God.
11.
Jesus Christ.
Say it. Don't worry, you guys get a round of shots on me.
In the face.
In the face. That's the only way I shoot. I can't shake him. At least I shot first. Getting all the references out of the way before the debate starts. Okay. So, Geeks, you have the better roll. Do you choose to go first or second?
We will choose to go first.
To go first. All right, then. We are in the intro round.
Logical.
Yes, logical. This is the intro round. You have 2 minutes to explain to me why Spock is the best second in command. Please begin.
The multiverse's best second in command and most logical, Spock, doesn't let emotion affect his judgment. His command in life philosophy is the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Perfect second in command philosophy. He has unified entire civilizations through peace, is Kirk's best friend and most trusted science officer, and has proven that he has lived longer and prospered better than any other second in command.
A science officer, a first officer, a captain, an ambassador, and a diplomat. He's been twice decorated with awards of valor by Starfleet, received the Vulcanian Scientific Legion of Honor, the Vulcan IDIC, holds an A7 computer expert classification. He's invented several time travel methodologies, including the warp drive cold start and the slingshot maneuver. He's been twice recommended for commendations by Captain Kirk, and at the end he suggested and helped to broker the Khitomer Accord, bringing peace to the Federation. And at the end of Wrath of Khan, he gives his life for his captain and the Enterprise.
There are some amazing abilities as well. The Vulcan mind meld and some telepathic abilities. The Vulcan neck pinch. Spock can talk to whales, bitch. Season 1 also reveals that Vulcans have a second pair of eyelids that humans don't have. Vulcans have a greater lifespan than humans do, and are 3 times physically stronger than a human being.
30 seconds.
Vulcans are able to transfer their consciousness into another person, and Vulcans are also resistant to telepathic attacks. To sum up Spock in one word, fascinating.
Intro round goes to the nerds. Nerds, explain to me in 2 minutes' time why Darth Vader is the best second in command. Please begin.
A great second in command always has amazing duties that are really hard to do. The first one he has to do is to defeat the Jedi Order. Does he? Yes, he does. He leads the Imperial Army in obliterating the Jedi Order by constantly tracking down any surviving Jedi, forcing them out of hiding, and killing them. Also, he's destroyed multiple incarnations of the Rebel Alliance. The reason why the Rebel Alliance is constantly going off and finding new bases is because Darth Vader keeps finding them and destroying their bases. In addition, his first in command Palpatine, he's the Emperor of a fucking galaxy. Assassination attempts on his life. Vader, despite his busy schedule, always manages to save the day by saving his boss from poison attempts. There was a ninja group that tried to blow up the throne room, and of course he saves him directly in battle from direct attacks against the Emperor.
Darth Vader is at the forefront of every actual battle. He doesn't have to follow the rules, he makes the rules. He's Darth Vader. Vader actually executes failed Imperial officers. If you're serving under Vader, you don't fuck up, because you're gonna die. That's why it's so efficient. It's amazing.
I mean, the guy is the poster boy for fear, am I right? Like, he's the literal embodiment of death and doom and despair. That's how he rolls. That's why the Emperor just sits back in his nice cushy chair and lets Vader do all the heavy lifting. Because Vader can handle it. He's got it covered. You don't need to worry when you're the Emperor and you have a guy like Darth Vader running the ship for you.
30 seconds.
Not only that, but he designed his own TIE fighter, okay? This guy's such a good mechanic that he took the workhorse of the fleet and he improved on it to the point that his ship was so much better that in subsequent iterations of the twin-ion engine starfighter, they adopted his mechanical techniques in order to make them more maneuverable, faster, and generally better at wiping out rebel scum.
Alright folks, it is time to hand out the rebuttal tokens, which can be handed in to me at any point in the debate to instantly rebuttal something else the other team has said. For Team Spock, we have a logic puzzle, which is already solved, so congratulations, yeah. And for Darth Vader, we have sand.
Home sweet home.
So coarse and rough. Not like Natalie Portman. Alright, so we have the attack round. It's time to venomously attack your opponent, so Geeks, please explain to me in 2 minutes' time why Darth Vader is not the best second-in-command. Please begin.
From greatest villain in history, little Annie Skywalker became the most annoying backstory ever. He does everything he's told like a little bitch until he can't take it anymore, and then he kills the nearest officer or his own boss. Let's see who he's betrayed. Obi-Wan Kenobi and the Jedi Council. Now, at the time, he was under them. The Emperor, and at the time, he was second in command to him. How can he be the best second in command if, in the end, he always betrays the ones who are his leaders? Now, he's emotionally driven, he can't breathe without a scuba gear, and can't sneak up on anybody.
Vader is so overly emotional. It's like he's perpetually in Bonfire. And this emotionality completely disrupts his ability to use the Force. In fact, the only part of the Force he's successfully used is erotically asphyxiating his own officer. And occasionally his pregnant wife. There is no control over his clairvoyance. He's unable to discern the location of the rebel base or conjure up the stolen data tapes. Despite his connection to the Force, he has no idea he has a daughter, even when she's like a foot away from him. In fact, he can't even get any information out of her. He has to use an interrogation droid. I mean, he has little to no control over his Force powers. He's basically a mad dog.
Little Annie Skywalker also has a huge list of failures behind him, just to name a few. He's lost two Death Stars. He lost the Battle of Hoth simply because he went down there himself to check things out and they couldn't blow the station up because he was in there. Nor can he convince his own son to come to the dark side. The Emperor never asks Vader for his opinion. He is just a subordinate in the Emperor's eyes. When he's angry, he can't use the Force. He couldn't see the Millennium Vulcan attached to his own ship or sneaking up behind him at the Battle of Yavin. Why didn't Vader just use the Death Star as a weapon when all the ships were going down the canyon and just jerk the Death Star to the left, smash all the ships to the side?
So long to use that line. Yeah. It is your attack round, Team Nerds. You have 2 minutes. Go ahead.
We're talking about second in command, right? And when you look at Spock, Spock's a terrible second in command. He's not obedient to his first in command. He's obedient to Starfleet. Like, what is that about? Your first in command, the captain, is the guy, the buck stops there. But Spock is constantly undermining him in front of the rest of the crew. And how many times did they go with Spock's plan and how many times did it work? Because I'm pretty sure they always go with Kirk.
I'm pretty sure.
And it always works.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Good thing.
Not only that, but Romulan ale is the best thing in the entire known galaxy, am I right? Like, it is unbelievably good, okay? It will get you totally hammered. And it's illegal according to the Federation. You know Spock's not going to let you touch that. And after a hard day of captaining, you know, you need a drink.
All right, I'm going to have to stop this advertisement for the cool taste of Romulan ale. Goes down smooth, except when it doesn't. We have a logic puzzle being turned in. What do you care to remote?
We would just like to dictate some policy real quickly and educate our folks.
Yes, according to Starfleet regulations, the position of the second in command is to restate Starfleet regulations to the captain. It is to question his decisions and present a counterpoint. He is doing exactly what his job is supposed to be. Additionally, there was a point about the Romulan ale.
Well, in the undiscovered country, everybody had some Romulan ale at the Klingon. And
And I recall that Spock helped arrange.
actually, it was on the Enterprise, but yeah.
Ah, I couldn't
And
remember.
Kirk got hammered, and Spock let that happen.
Spock, the ultimate DD.
Romulan ale for everyone!
Spock is not very adaptable. He needs to process every single piece of fucking data before he makes a decision, even in a crisis. Even if you're burning, he needs to look through all the data. He also often uses faulty logic, like the time when he accumulated data on a species that was rage-driven, and then he expected them to act rationally like Vulcan. Yeah, what?
His logic doesn't really make sense. Like, for a logical being who's supposedly a chess master, he loses to Kirk at chess. That doesn't make sense. Also, whenever Kirk makes a decision, he goes and consults his logical sounding board, and then he goes and consults his emotional sounding board, McCoy. So the situation isn't actually a twosome, it's a threesome. And because of that, he kind of loses some points because anytime Kirk has to make something, he doesn't really trust his second in command to give him all the details. He has to go to his medical officer, who doesn't even have a place on the bridge. What kind of fucking second in command can you not trust if you have to go down to the medical bay to complete all the data that you need?
That's true!
And for the live long and prosper bit, Spock's very fond of sacrificing himself. He also tried to save Captain Pike by also, doing this Messiah thing where he almost died. And you know what? If he died at that time, there would have been no Kirk and Spock. There would have been no Star Trek. So his Messiah complex actually is a detriment.
All right, I'm going to have to stop you there. Let us hear it for the